Hey everybody, this is Derek over here at Foundation Software. Hope you're doing well. Today we are going to be talking a little bit more about Foundation's HQ Suite, which is a new web-based project management platform that we've developed. It's been out for about 3 years now, and some of you may know a little bit about this. Some of you guys may be completely brand new to this. So what I plan on doing is just kind of going through an overview of all the different features and covering some questions, and of course, if there's thoughts afterwards, if you want to set up a time to kind of touch base, do a deeper dive, kind of go through a system demo type of thing, I'd be more than happy to go ahead and do that. So without I guess further ado, let me kind of go ahead and pull up the main screen here for that and drag that over here. So yeah, this is the main screen for our HQ Suite, and I guess the first question you're probably wondering, well, what is the HQ Suite? What does that consist of? Because you might have seen some different marketing pieces out there regarding HQ, and the HQ Suite consists of 3 different pieces. The main piece is going to be called ProjectHQ. That is document management. Think things like RFIs, submittals, change orders, purchase orders, subcontracts. Basically, it allows you to create different documents, email them out, track correspondence back and forth, and then in some instances, it'll push data back into Foundation. So that's kind of the big piece. And then the other 2 items, one is called Executive HQ. That's a reporting tool, basically job cost reporting. And then the third piece is called Crew HQ. That's a scheduling and labor dispatching tool. So those are the 3 pieces to this. And I guess kind of going back a little bit, what got us to here is Foundation Software has always been, great when it comes to accounting and job costing. We developed, going back 20 plus years now, a project management module that was part of Foundation. That was probably good when it came out, but it soon was behind the times in terms of technology and what features companies are looking to use. Anytime companies are looking for something that's project management based, they need it to be easy to use, more mobile, and that's kind of what drove us towards getting into the HQ Suite. This is something that's designed to be used by your operations, your project management team outside of the office, outside of Foundation, while your accounting team can be logged into Foundation dealing with accounting entries. But at the end of the day, those 2 groups of people are getting all the information that they need. So that's really the big key with this is people from different departments within the same company can be doing their own thing, yet at the end of the day, all that information kind of flows back to the same area, and everybody's getting what they need. So yeah, I guess big picture, that's what we're looking at here with the HQ Suite. Now I guess a little bit more specifically, kind of going through the features on the screen here. I guess let me kind of explain here what's on the screen. So homepage here would be your most recent projects, most recent jobs. There's also a section for documents where I can look between overdue, upcoming, or recent. There's a schedule overview. There's a list for action items, which are kind of activities, reminders. You can set notifications to these, things like that. And then just weather conditions, just from an informational standpoint. So yeah, kind of all large scale information all at one glance. And this all communicates with your Foundation database. Let me just kind of show you kind of an easy screen that kind of lays out all the different pieces. So jobs, customers, employees, vendors, equipment, inventory, cost codes, cost classes. These are all the information that'll pull into HQ from your Foundation database. So yeah, the big key for our clients that are looking at this is, yeah, it's web-based. Yeah, it's easy to use, but it does integrate with Foundation. I guess you can take that a couple steps further if you're kind of compare, where this is at versus what some of the other platforms are. And there's a handful. There's not a whole bunch. I could name off a few, whether it's ESUB, Raken, Procore. They're all good products. We're actually partners with some of those products, but for the typical Foundation user, a lot of those are just overkill. The pricing is quite a bit too, and then the fact that they don't really integrate and tie back into Foundation. So you kind of look at those factors, and that's where a product like our HQ Suite might be something that's much more much more palatable, I guess, whether it's a feature, whether it's a pricing standpoint, that companies are kind of gravitating towards. But yeah, these are the records that'll pull into HQ from Foundation to kind of get you going. And then, back on the main page here, yeah, just an overview. And then let me kind of jump into the main part, and I'll kind of work, down this left-hand side toolbar. So projects, this is getting into the Project HQ part of the platform. So again, think document management, correspondence tracking, being able to save pictures and attachments, drawings, things like that. So this is going to show a list of all of your active jobs, all of your active projects. The idea is, from a security standpoint, you're able to limit what jobs people have access to. And then the idea is from here, that project manager or employee can log into that project, and then it's going to open up a dashboard breaking down information just for this Lake County Trust rebuild job. I can always jump around to different projects. But if you look down the left-hand side here, I can kind of expand this toolbar tree. And these are all the types of features you're getting into here. And actually, from a security, I just mentioned on the prior screen where you can limit what projects or jobs people can see. This is where you can always limit even what types of documents they can do. But you can kind of see right from this screen, the main dashboard, you get into things like daily logs. There's a section for scheduled tasks. There's a way to keep track of email correspondence. And the whole idea throughout this is, from an email perspective, you're able to email any of the different documents, forms, reports out of here. And this would go through your actual email address. So similar to how other web-based platforms would work is you would go to email, like if I go to new email right here, I can go to Mail App, which is the more common setting, and then that would integrate with your Outlook or Gmail account and send it directly out of here, save a copy here, but would also save a copy back in your default account. The other option right here, Project HQ, that is almost like you would ignore your Outlook account. That's, I guess, I know it's funny to say, but, more and more companies I talk to, there's always a handful of employees at each company that don't have a company email address, don't want one, but this is kind of a way where you can more or less not force them, but give them the option to still send documents out without having a company email address. So, but yeah, that one doesn't tie into any of your information. But yeah, email correspondence, and then there's, again, documents, action items, weather conditions based on this job's location, and then going down through the toolbar here. Details, nothing crazy here. This is just the same information that would be pulled out of Foundation from the job maintenance record there in your Foundation database. Resources, I'm going to circle back around to schedule in a moment, but that would be the Crew HQ. And then team would just be all the different contacts, different people you're dealing with on this job. You can always assign out different roles. You'll notice there's a keyword search up here, and that's going to be consistent throughout the platform. Pretty much any screen that you see, you're going to see keyword searches, which again, this is all web-based. This is all newer technology. This is much easier, much more intuitive than anything you'd find on the Foundation side. So yeah, just a list of all of your contacts or team members. Work management is where you start getting into different types of forms and documents. I kind of mentioned earlier action items, but these again would be more kind of like an assignment reminder you can set to people. You can duplicate these. You can actually duplicate many of the different types of documents throughout Project HQ here. But yeah, action items, and then you can get to AIA worksheets where you can create the full schedule of values. You can create the applications. You can email and print those out. And yes, this would be one of the big records here in Project HQ that you would be able to sync back into Foundation. So this puts I don't want to say the power, but it's more kind of I don't want to say even responsibility, but it gives the option, I guess that's probably a good way to say it, to your project managers to create these and send these out to the customer. Because usually, in our experience, for most of our companies, they're the ones that are steering the ship when it comes to that. Usually the accounting department gets the information secondhand from them. So instead of kind of, having duplicate entries there, we try to make that process more efficient where the project management team can create these and send these out. And then whenever they're ready, they can sync that information back into Foundation. Now, big asterisk here, any of the information that pushes back into Foundation from HQ, none of it's just going to automatically post. So it's going to require somebody on the accounting side to run a list and okay this before it would actually save and post into Foundation. So that's AIAs. Mention daily logs, so just where you can keep track of the comings and goings on a project on a given day. One little sidebar on this, this will actually tie into our mobile app. So if you're using our mobile app to collect time or equipment usage, that information can populate HQ. Just trying to keep everybody on the same page. So if you're using Foundation, and then you have HQ, and then you also have our mobile app to collect field information like time cards, that'll populate not only Foundation, but HQ as well. So daily logs. And then documents, this would be a section where you can create, I always call these non-accounting related job documents, just to kind of stress that, hey, these just stay here. It's not like the AIAs, or I'll mention the, a couple other ones upcoming here. But yeah, this is where you can get into RFIs, submittals, user-defined documents, which can really be whatever you need them to be. These are just my examples I've created over the last few years talking with companies. And for all documents, and this kind of goes across the board up and down this left-hand toolbar, the idea is you can select the document type, and it goes to a screen that's similar to this, and you can always jump to a different document here. But you can toggle by status. There's that keyword search again. Right up in the top right is where you can always run a log. So if you needed a report to print out, you can do that. And then for the documents themselves, we have a whole section for template designers. Again, way more intuitive and efficient to build than anything in Foundation, like the old Genies or certainly the template editors if you've dealt with those and other modules in Foundation. But yeah, you can control what shows on the entry fields. You can add custom fields. But yeah, all of the documents are going to have a section here where you're filling out the main verbiage. And then they're also going to have a section here called correspondence, where you're going to be able to manually keep track of any back and forth. And then for attachments, yeah, any document that you're creating within here, you can save pictures, documents, and they can be JPEGs, they can be PDFs, they can be Word, they can be Excel. So it's unlike, again, and I'm kind of going back and forth with this, but again, comparing it to Foundation, it's night and day because this is all newer technology, easier to use. So when it comes to being able to save attachments and drawings, you're not just limited to PDFs and graphic files. You can actually pull in Word and Excel documents here. And this is all on our cloud. So it's unlimited storage. There's no cap to it. You can actually create different folders and subfolders out there. So it's actually a pretty nice part of the system here, being able to create and save different attachments and drawings and things like that. And then lastly, mailbox. So this is where you can always review prior emails you've received. You can send emails out here. So yeah, anything having to do with email and this document, you'll find it here on this section. And then one more thing before I kind of move on to the other pieces, back on the detail section here underneath actions, this is where you'll be able to see a kind of some options, whether it's emailing documents out, printing them. You can create an action item that's linked to this. So if you needed a notification or a reminder to somebody that's responsible for this and that regarding, say this RFI, you can do that. So those are really consistent across the board, for all documents, not just this section or to this RFI. But that specifically is what goes on there in documents. And then for punch lists, yeah, just pretty straightforward. This is where you can create a checklist, assign it out to folks, keep track on where they're at. And then the next section down is cost management. This will let you view the project's budget, but really the big keys are these next two sections down here. The change order management, probably the number one feature in the entire platform across the board, all three products, would be this section here. Being able to, that's what I hear more often than not, is I need to have an easy, efficient way to keep track of change orders. And of course, that's because that's where most companies make their money. So being able to create requests, email them out, track the back and forth, and then hopefully convert that to an approved change order is what you're doing here. And then this would be one that would push into Foundation as well, just like that AIA that we talked about a little bit ago. And like if I go into an RFC here, the process for all of these, you're creating the document. Now the RFC along with the change order, you have details, correspondence, attachments, and mailbox, but you also have your scope of work here where you can break out, not only enter in the verbiage of what shows on the request, but also break out, hey, how does this affect me on the back end from a cost code, cost class, dollars, hours, quantity perspective. But yeah, the idea is you can create these requests, email them out, and then hopefully it gets marked as approved. And then what it allows you to do is it allows you to convert a request for change into an actual change order. It'll actually allow you to convert multiple requests into a single change. So, because that's how the real world works. So, that's what you can do here as well. So, and then once it's an actual change order, that's when it's going to let you sync that into Foundation. And again, it's not like this is just going to automatically save and update reports, hit whip schedules. It requires somebody in the accounting side to run a list and okay this before that happens. Even if it's just a double check to make sure somebody didn't accidentally enter in an extra 0 or 2, that would really, really throw reporting off. But yeah, change orders. Like I said, it's the number one feature that I hear from companies looking at our HQ suite. And then the other section down here, committed costs. So this is where you're getting into purchase orders, subcontracts. If you need to create change orders for either of these, you can do that too. And this is all, again, just an extension of Foundation. You're just doing it through HQ here. So it's like if I go into a purchase order, you have the same header information. You have the item section where if you do have our inventory module, let you pull from those parts. You're coding it out to different cost codes and cost classes. Just like on the other documents that we looked at here in HQ, you have correspondence, attachments, email, and yeah, these you can push into Foundation as well. And again, just like AIAs, just like change orders, both purchase orders and subcontracts require somebody on the accounting side to run a list and okay it before it would actually push into Foundation. And again, templates, designing them, that's let me show you here down in setup here. Basically, all these different boxes have all the ability to create these custom forms and templates. And whether you want to use one of ours and edit it, modify it, or if you want to bring in a form that you're already using, you can do that. It can be Excel, it can be Word, PDF. So yeah, definitely flexible. These other sections where you get into turning on or off certain fields, checking off requirements. So in other words, you can say, hey, you always have to enter in the description before you can save a purchase order. So yeah, a lot more flexibility than what you have on the Foundation side. Yeah, the only other section here, I don't want to leave it out. I want to make sure I touch base on it. Down at the bottom, collaboration. So this is where you'll find all of the files, drawings, attachments that have been saved on this project. This is where you can get into creating your own folder. You can actually create subfolders too within those folders. So it's really up to you. You can organize this to your heart's desire here. And then the other section is mailbox. So this is kind of like the files showed all of the attachments and drawings. This would show all of the emails that have been sent or saved on this project. And again, there's a keyword search here. You can toggle by document type. You can, of course, send emails from here as well. But yeah, so this is all part of what's called ProjectHQ. Again, more document management, correspondence tracking, attachments and drawings. Now, a second part is the scheduling part called the Crew HQ. So kind of 3 keys to this, kind of 3 big bullets. Project scheduling, resource management would be a second, and then employee dispatching would be a third. So the way that this works is it pulls up a list of your active projects, at least the ones that you're assigned to from a security standpoint. And then the idea is you're creating tasks. And now the task names can be the same as your cost codes on the job budget, but this is where you're breaking out dates. If you need times, you can. Location, which that'll pull off the job record, but if you wanted to override that or even drop a pin on a map, you could. Resources, this is where you're assigning out employees. Other contacts, maybe subcontractors, maybe you schedule by crew, so you can assign employees to crews. Or if you have equipment or inventory, you can, of course, schedule those out. Other sections here, if you want to get into predecessor and successor tasks, to connect those. So if you move one, it kind of pulls the other. Miscellaneous notes, but yeah, the idea is this is where you're creating these tasks, assigning your resources, and then when you save these tasks, it'll kick out an email or a text notification to all those employees with all the specifics on that task. And then on top of that, your employees will have the option of pulling up their own site. Basically, each employee would have their own site that they can bookmark that has a calendar view of their entire calendar, and their entire schedule that's out there. And there's other little neat widgets up top here, like if I want to pull up a map that kind of breaks down where my different tasks are, I can do that. There's assignment view, so if I wanted to see, based on the calendar date, who's available. There's an unscheduled task, so if I was maybe just awarded a job, but I didn't have all the specifics as far as the who or the when, I can kind of preset these over here and then fill in the other details at a later date, different time frames. But yeah, so that's Crew HQ. And then the third part to the HQ suite is called Executive HQ. I'm going to kind of drag this over here. This is the reporting part. So this is what's going to pull directly out of your Foundation database, specifically the job cost module back in Foundation. And the way this is designed to work is you start big, and then it allows you to get smaller and smaller from a detail perspective. So you start at the top showing grand totals for all projects, and then on the bottom half of the screen is just a nice percent complete over-under report, and you can filter and sort these. Over in the corner, some widgets where if you want to export these out or print this report out, you could. And then the idea from here is, you can select a job, and then it's going to pull up a dashboard breaking down the different sections. And what I mean by that is kind of the different parts, different types of costs. Like this right here would be a breakdown by cost classes, which would be, labor, material subs. This would be a chart showing estimate versus actual broken down by your cost codes. So you can kind of see excavation, rough carpentry, just as an example there, kind of showing you that. And then on the right-hand side, change orders. This one's by status, so what's pending, what's approved. And then on the bottom one is showing more values, what's pending, what's income, what's cost. And then there's just a nice variance report here too. You've got your cost code, estimated cost, actual cost, variance, and then it has a column for committed. So that would include your purchase orders and subcontracts. And then, yeah, anything in blue and any chart I can drill into. Like, for example, like rough carpentry here, if I want to see what made up that, 21,000 and change, I can select that, and then it pulls up. If you're familiar back in Foundation, there's a job history detail report it's called. So this is essentially that report where you can see all the different detail line items. Now, one extra security setting here within Executive HQ is if you had employees that you didn't want them to see this type of detail, you can always limit that and have them just see one single line for labor. So they wouldn't see employee names and hours and dollars. I know that's sometimes a no-no for sometimes some companies out there, but yeah, so that's Executive HQ. So those are the three parts. I guess kind of to recap here. Let me go out to the kind of the main page here for the HQ suite. So yeah, I guess kind of to recap again, this is Foundation's web-based project management platform. It's designed to be used by project managers, your operations team. They don't need to be in Foundation, which a lot of times if you are on our hosted services and you add HQ, you can sometimes drop some users just to kind of help offset some of the pricing. And again, from a pricing standpoint, we're not trying to break the bank on this product. This is something that we're trying to make affordable for most all of our companies to use that are out there. And from a feature standpoint, we try to kind of hit the big features that most companies are looking for. Document management, correspondence tracking, being able to save attachments and drawings, and then you get into the whole change orders, AIAs, POs, and subs that you can create here and then push back into Foundation. It's again the whole platform from being web-based to integrating with Foundation to the price standpoint is appealing to a lot of our customers. So yeah, I appreciate you guys spending some of your afternoon here just kind of learning a little bit more about our HQ suite. Let me pull up my information here. that is my information. Probably email is the best way to get in touch with me because I'm on and off the phone constantly. But yeah, if you guys have questions, I am available right now. I'll kind of hang on if you wanted to type in the little section there on the GoToWebinar tab. Or if you think about it after the fact, you can always shoot me an email, or you can give me a call too. That's perfectly fine. I'll definitely reach back out to you. Or if you want to set up a time to go through this one-on-one with yourself or people at your company, your team there, I'd be happy to go ahead and do that. So yeah, with that said, I'll kind of hold off and see if there's any type of questions. And yeah, we do have a question here. Will this webinar be available? Absolutely. So everybody that's watching here live, you're going to receive a recorded copy of this. And then for the folks that signed up that couldn't make it, they're going to receive a recorded copy as well. And there's another good question here about seeing some other HQ products out there, Safety HQ, Takeoff HQ. Yeah, so our HQ suite that I kind of showcase kind of covers these three products. Are more slanted towards the project management team. Now, besides that, yeah, we do have a Safety HQ product. So if you are looking for safety tracking, and you can always reach out to me. I can get you in touch with the right people here. It's handled by a different department, but we're all, in the same building here, one big foundation family. But there's Safety HQ. There's a product called Takeoff HQ. So if you're looking for a takeoff tool that can help, and then coming out beginning of 2024, a big product. We haven't really started doing much from a marketing standpoint, but it's going to be called Workforce HQ. That is a employee onboarding and HR tool. So that'll be exciting once that feature comes out. I don't have a whole lot of details on that one, but I am sure in the next month or two we're going to start doing some ramping up some promotional marketing information out there. And then another good question here: collaboration available for outside of our company. So the way that HQ is built is it's designed to be used by your company. So you can always email documents out. You can, if I go into like a job here, like underneath collaboration, if I go to like files and attachments, you can always share these with other people outside your organization. But the way this is designed, this is not a tool that you're going to give to people outside of your organization. You're not going to give this, in other words, to like a subcontractor that's going to log into here to do anything like that. So this is more designed internal use for your company there. Yeah, and if you are interested in how we price this, it is a monthly fee. It's a subscription-based fee, and it's based roughly on users. I can tell you that. Now, if you want more specifics, feel free to reach out to me. Let me pull up. There it is, right there. So it's yeah, feel free to reach out to me. Yeah, but we never price based on revenue or volume or jobs. So I'll never ask you questions about that. It's always user counts and based like that. But yeah, if you have questions on pricing, yeah, feel free to reach out to that. Another question here: can we upload a schedule made on Microsoft Project or other platforms? No, you really can't. I guess specifically for Crew HQ, you're not uploading a schedule there. That's where you're actually creating a schedule to manage more or less your employees, your other resources that are out there. And then a question here: can project bids be brought in from bid to win estimating? Kind of. So it's kind of a sideway track. So HQ integrates with Foundation. Foundation, you'd be able to import bids from bid to win. So you'd have to import that information into Foundation, then that information would push from Foundation into HQ. So that's kind of the step-by-step process there. Here's a good question too. With ProjectHQ, can people still go in and utilize the project management module in Foundation? Answer is no. So this whole HQ suite is the new version of Foundation's project management module. At some point, nothing in the immediate future, and I haven't heard any sort of whispers anytime soon, but at some point, our old project management module is going to be obsolete. It's kind of there for most companies. Most companies nowadays need something that's more, again, web-based, easier to use, out of the office. So for most of our companies nowadays, it's a no-go right from the start. So, you know, nothing definitive, but yeah, this is, it's you don't have to have the PM module and foundation. This isn't going to talk to it. This is its own product that is what you would use for project management. And again, if you are interested in pricing, feel free to reach out. And again, we don't price by, you know, volume or revenue. It's always user-based fee there. All right, I'll just hang on for a couple more minutes just to make sure everybody's got all of their questions answered. And again, if you think of anything after the fact, by all means, feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to help. And you can upload pictures to a daily log. That's no problem at all. Just like you can upload pictures and drawings to really any type of document in the platform. So yep, that's all good too. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate it. Again, I'm available if anybody needs anything, but I'd like to appreciate or thank you for joining the webinar here this afternoon. Just learning a little bit more about our HQ suite. And if you need anything at all in the future, just feel free to reach out. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your day.